Jive Turkeys. This is Sowski here, talking to you from the Underground Sea podcast. I'm going to do a little bit of challenges here from the new Duels of Planeswalkers 2014 expansion. I don't know if you guys were old enough to actually read Inquest when it was out, but they did stuff like this in their magazine where they would give you like a situation or something like that, and they'd tell you to do something and you had to try to do it with what you had. This is basically the same thing except on Duels of Planeswalkers, and it's always been one of my favorite things about that magazine, and it kind of made me sad when it went away. But now they brought it back on Duels, some of them are good, some of them are extremely easy, and it's kind of disappointing. This one, on the other hand, was probably one of the most fun times I've ever had doing a challenge, because it's not really complicated. It is too a little bit if you've never played with these kind of cards before, but it's just very, very cool how you have to do this. So let's get started. It's called Spellstorm. Your back is against the wall, your opponent is gloating. Demonstrate your mastery of spellsling by winning this turn. If the name doesn't give you a hint, you're supposed to storm your opponent out. Hence, Spellstorm. So let's get started. First things first, Demonic Collusion. And we're going to do this with buyback, so we have to discard 2 cards. So, let's get rid of these 2 bad cards, because they're really not going to do anything for us. And we're going to go get the key of the deck, which is Monsieur Great Whale over here. This guy is pretty much the main combo piece, because since we have Sneak Attack over here, where for 1 red we could drop a creature into play, and this guy is, when he enters the battlefield, untap up to 7 lands, it lets us generate a butt-ton of mana. An actual metric butt-ton. And let's do this one more time, this time without the buyback, because we actually want the cards that are in our hand. And we're going to go find Snap. This is the other card that's going to generate us a butt-ton of mana, because I return a creature to our owner's hand, untap up to 2 lands. And right now we have Helm of Awakening, so we can cast for 1 blue, untap 2 lands, get back the Great Whale, so on and so forth. Let's get it started. First things first. Sneak Attack in the Whale. Boom. And untap 7 lands. With this deck, we really only need like 2 red mana, so you want to get as much black mana, as much blue mana as you can. Towards the end, all we really want is black mana. But let's get this out of the way first, because Sneak Attack does give our guy haste. So let's attack him for 5. This puts him at 60 instead of 65, gives us a little bit of an easier time to do this. Next thing, we're going to snap the Great Whale. Get some mana. All the mana. And we could Sneak Attack in the Great Whale, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense here because we are trying to keep up a storm count. So right now our storm count is on 2 or 3. Our storm count is on 3. So we could cast him. Since he costs 6 because of the Helm of Awakening, we untap 7 lands because we have 1 tapped already. We have all our mana untapped. We could Sneak Attack him in, but then we have 1 less spell, and we basically untap all of our mana anyways. So, we're just going to cast him. Get all the mana. Mana, 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 mana! Mana! Now we're actually going to kill our own Great Whale. What this does is it empties our hand and puts all these fun little cards into the graveyard. And with them all in the graveyard, what we're going to do is that allows us to cast our Infernal Tutor. What Infernal Tutor is that if you have cards in your hand and you cast it, you get to search for a card that's already in your hand. But if you have no cards in your hand, you then get to search for any card in your deck. And right now, since the Helm of Awakening, we have a 1 black search for any card. And the card we want is the 3rd combo piece of this deck, pretty much, which is Past in Flames. Pretty much a key piece of any Legacy combo deck. If you've never seen the Legacy combo deck before, it's a Grixis kind of deck. And what Past in Flames does is it gives all instant sorcery cards in your graveyard flashback. So now, all these fun things that we already played now have flashback. So now, Betrayal of the Flesh, we can now cast this, and guess what? Return our whale to the field. That's right. Let's get all the mana, because it's going to need quite a bit of it. And as I said, you really don't need too much red mana, but you do need a lot of blue and quite a few black, so make sure you get a good amount of both of that. Besides that, it really doesn't matter too much. Next thing, we're going to snap. And we're going to snap our own Great Whale back to our hand. Untap some mana. And then we're going to Demonic Collusion again. And with this Demonic Collusion, what we want to get is either one of two cards. It really doesn't matter which right now, but I usually just get this one first just to get it out of the way and make sure I don't forget about it, which is Hoodwink. And we're going to use Hoodwink to bounce the Leyline of Sanctity, because with that, he can't be targeted, and eventually we are going to have to target him. So now let's sneak attack this guy back in to untap a bunch of lands. And now we're going to Demonic Collusion one more time. And now we're going to get the second card we could have gotten, which is a way to get even more mana. And this is going to be Spitting Image. It's basically a 6-man sorcery that is a clone. So we're going to clone our Great Whale. Untap a butt ton of mana. And then we're going to Infernal Tutor. And since we have no cards in hand, we get to go get whatever we want. And what we want is the actual win condition of this deck. Another part of Legacy Storm, which is, if I can find it, Tendrils of Agony. So it's 2 black, and target player loses 2 life, and I gain 2 life. And it does have Storm. This is how we're going to kill our opponent right here. So what we're going to do is, first things first, we got to cast the Tendrils. So let's Tendrils away. And we're going to target them. It's going to put a whole bunch of Storms on the stack. So we're going to have each one target them. Quite a few clicks. And there we go. Now I sit there and wait for all of these to resolve. Not so tough now, are ya? So this, I think, should put them to around high 20s, low 30s, if I remember correctly. So let's see how this turns out. Hopefully I actually did this right and I didn't mess up a step somewhere. Thank God Storm doesn't work this way in real life. We have to wait for every single trigger to resolve. Alright, so 30. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to flashback Past in Flames. Because this will give our Tendrils of Agony flashback, which will allow us to recast it and go for the gold. Now, you see how I have 1 mana left open? You can do it so you have a blue open, so you can Hoodwink again to get 1 more spell, but you really don't need it, because this should kill him, as long as my math is correct. Let's make sure. Because with this you could Hoodwink, well, that's about it, you could Hoodwink. Which, I don't really know what you would want to Hoodwink, because there's no real other permanents that you could put into play. I guess you could Hoodwink a land to replay a land, but that really doesn't do anything. Yeah, and this is more than enough to kill him. Boom, there it is. That is 1 dead opponent from Storm. Well, thank you guys again. This is Sowski from the Underground Sea, signing off. Hope you enjoyed. If you guys want to see any of the other ones, let me know, and I'll be able to post tutorials for those ones as well. I guess I'll see you guys later.